Thank you. Thank you for having me back. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time of year. We're coming into spring. There's change in the air. And as a community, you're coming together to create new and expanded vibration and community and learning. And when I was thinking about this, just thoughts came during the week. And I remembered being about 7 years old and looking out the second-story window at the gravel road that went by the farmhouse that I grew up in, which was built by my great-grandfather in the late 1800s. And I thought, there's so much exciting things to do. I sort of had a vision of carriages going by, horse-drawn carriages, and wagons drawn by horses. And I thought, there's so much to do in life and so much to learn. 7 years or 70 years are not enough. There must be reincarnation. And I don't know where that came from. But as I was thinking about it, I thought, that's what I'm talking about, that is the mystical communication. Because I know I was being coached all those years. My next memory was standing out under the stars, back before yard lights and all those different light pollutions. You could see the Milky Way for miles and miles. And in Illinois, it's flat as a pancake. So there was nothing to block the view. And I would look up at the stars and I would go, there's got to be something more. Or what is God? Are we really, is this a box that we're in and these are pinpricks that the light come through? These questions would go through my mind. And that was the beginning to me of stepping beyond the traditional learning and going into listening within to what was the inner voice that was guiding me. The static was huge, though. The static of the traditions and the programming and the being good enough. I visited Girls Inc. this week. They're expanding and they're looking for volunteers. Girls Inc. is a program for girls that teaches them how to love and respect themselves and to know that their value and to know how important they are. And as I did the tour and saw the girls and felt the enthusiasm, I said, I wish I'd had that when I was a young girl. And I was talking to my brother about Hidden Figures and how difficult it was for women in the 60s that movie showed. He said, our mom didn't have any trouble. I said, she didn't work outside the home, you know. But there was so much expectation to just get married. So I went to college expecting that I would come out with my MRS. I still haven't gotten an MRS. Failed. But that's not been my path. So what I wanted to talk today about was how we receive those divine messages. Because sometimes we don't realize that's what they are. Until I thought about it, I didn't realize that thought about there's got to be more, 7 to 70 wasn't enough. I didn't realize that was a little message. Someone was talking to me, the unseen world, the divine world, the energy around me. And so when I was 21 and I was introduced to the Inner Peace movement, it was like news to me somehow. I hadn't thought of it, that I'm a soul with a physical body, not a physical body with a soul. That I'm the soul, that I'm the energy, the life force, the frequency of love that is, has been, and always will be, and has never been created or destroyed. Can't be created or destroyed. And that was like the biggest light bulb going off and the most freeing thing that I learned. And then I learned that I had spiritual help, inner guidance, guardian angels, the divine, the Holy Spirit that could speak to me directly. And the 7-year-old me had been speaking to that part, my angels. And I don't know where you stand with angels. Sometimes people think that's too woo-woo, that's too Christian, that's too this, that's too that. But we have a sixth sense that is helping us all the time, or we couldn't survive on this difficult planet. I watch cars go by, and I don't see auras much, but I see this glow above every car that goes by when I'm stopped at a stop sign. I think there must be hundreds of angels helping everybody to move so fast and so easily with all different levels of driving skills. So, what I want to talk to you is about how our sixth sense is received, so that we can be better listeners and tap that inner wisdom more and be able to know that we know that we know. And I'm sure that you are aware of how you've done that, but has there been times when you wish you'd done it better? You wish you'd known that, listened to that, touched base with that sooner, or expand it in a way, or know how to pass it on to other people? In the Bible, it does say, to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy. And you've heard of Enneagram and the Myers-Briggs test and how they classify personalities, and many different ways that people are going about classifying. Carol Tuttle has classified your fashion style based upon the 4 elements. And when I read about that, it was talking about what I learned about the 4 ways that we perceive, which are clairvoyance, clear seeing, claircognizance, clear knowing, clairaudience, clear hearing, and clairsentience, clear feeling. And that those are the 4 main ways that we are wired to perceive the unseen, the invisible. And it is a frequency. I figured this out. I was going to bring that diagram. To be physical, we have had to slow down the speed of God into the many different levels of vibration and frequencies till we get to the level that creates mass. You know, and so the frequency of God is a higher frequency. The frequency of our angels, or that divine guidance, is a higher frequency. And that frequency comes into us so that we can then get those messages. But it's our brain that then translates it. So the higher our frequency, the higher the level of message we receive. And that also gives us different personality types. The way that we perceive makes us look different, sound different, act different, because we have all 4 of the ways of perceiving. But it gives you a different combination, you have one that's a strength. Is how I was always guided, and I've observed and experienced with people. I'm an empathic person, and I get lots of inner knowings. So I didn't think I was too psychic because I didn't get visions, and I didn't hear. And that's what they say psychic people are, or people who use their intuition a lot. They have visions. So I just want to describe the 4 main languages, which is what this was referring to. Wisdom is our clairaudience. Having a conversation with yourself, answering your own questions, hearing the still small voice within. That's what I was hearing when I had the thought 7 to 70 was not enough. And that wisdom part of us is fact-oriented. That we want the facts. A person who has that as their major way of communicating just wants the facts. They don't. You have somebody come up to you and start to give you all the details about how to get somewhere, and you get impatient with it because you can figure it out from just the names of the streets, please. A visual person, they have inner visions that come to them, and that inner vision can be just like a flash of a picture. And I have lots of people, when I talked about this, that they say, I don't see things. So I have a little experiment for you to do. Just close your eyes and go back to your home and stand in front of the refrigerator and open the door and inventory what you see in there. Can you get a sense of what you have in your refrigerator? It's not necessarily a clear, sharp, crisp picture like we have when we look at the people here, but that is your inner vision. So, we're all visionary, we're all visual, but it may be more some person's first trait and another person's fourth most. It's like speaking foreign languages, you know? Your first language is English, but you may know French, Spanish, and German, but you have an order in which you know them.